Definitely a bit of a scrappy round here for ManParang Esports, but still points is points, and if you are given to it, buy it, you gotta claim it, bro.
Yeah, and of course, these games, they always take it at any given point of the day. With 2,000 over damage to be done by all these members, and you can see that they're also receiving a little bit more of that shots because they healed about 3,000 at the same time. So Red Bull, he was the main marksman in this round. A total of 5 eliminations, and he does not even care of, like, you know, throwing utilities. He always gets his job done in order to put VPE on the map. And it all started off with, you know, that arrival of RRQ trying to flush that position, and he held his own. And just like that, they were feeling rather confident that they won't be pretty much challenged from the get-go, and it's all down to that final duel that they almost got in the back too.
Definitely look at the top performers here. It's gonna be Red Bull here with 5, Bexcrev with 5, Paradin on 5, and Ace with 4 as well. A lot of 5s in this board, and well, it was pretty evident. I mean, we saw them in the broadcast, we saw them on the round itself, and they were pretty loud there, Contra.
Yeah, they definitely were, and it was really an interesting exchange, right? Because there was certain glimpse of brilliance coming from the side of SEM9 where, you know, APG, they had more members. SEM9 only had those 2, but with those kind of plays on the hovercraft, Vexcry have been able to eventually seek out and also deny the entry out of those members of APG, and now find themselves at the 2nd spot. So this will be pretty much the same scorelines with the overall standings at this moment. 21 points handed over to our Warders of Dingo Savior, 15 for SEM9, and ManParang Esports with 14. So that's just 1 point of a difference.
Definitely a bit of a close one here on this round. SEM9 definitely still took the losses, but you know, having 15 for your name, placing number 2 is not a bad picture at all. Same was for set of a, you know, a ManParang Esports. APG, I feel like they could have really done more there, especially in regards to the placement, but unfortunately they got caught off on a bench, and I kind of thought that in some way they had a better rotation, a better formation, better angle, but nope, wasn't really that case. SEM9 was able to make the most out of that. But for the rest of the crew though, Boom Esports, P2K Esports, Team Flash, AZ Slumber, they tried their best, but fortunately just got caught off there on mid side of the game. Now match stats. Once he's gonna get the longest eliminations, 58 knockouts in total though, 67 total eliminations inside of the round. And this will live through. Pretty staple here overall in this round here, Contra.
Yeah, pretty staple. I thought that there would be a little bit more elimination points because there's just like 2 added than the usual 16 rosters that we see going into the map. So that goes to show that every single time we go into the island, it's always going to be absolute chaos for those that didn't manage to make their way in. So that being said, though, I really do hope that Miramar is going to be just as challenging, but we'll have to wait a couple more minutes for that because we'll go on a short break. We'll be back for more.
Coba kurang try SD guys. Boleh lah SD. Tak tahu okay tak, lama dah tak buat SB ni. Ada orang juru geng? Tak tahu lah guys. Di situ Malaysia time stamp. Tak best lah. Kat Titi best sikit tu. Banyak lah. Berapa kali dah end live kat Titi. Kena warning. Kat Titi kena warning ah. Nyemak betul. Kawal siapa. Masih kena warning. Nak try like kat sini. Try pinjam. Betul Vek, betul. Aku setuju. Setuju. Betul. 40 tu mati pada minggu ni. Apa dia? Sebab aku pakai earphone. Suara ke dalam. Kawan tahu Ruthless. Mungkin aku dah try balik mobile. Dah. Dah try dah. Best lah. Macam mana saya nak
Right, let's get it on here. Welcome back once again to the first day of the grand finals here at Ruthless Invitational Showdown 12. And we're going to be heading straight towards round number 2, where we're going to be heading straight actually to Miramar here, actually. And we're going to go back to back here, Contra.
Yep, I absolutely do love the kind of pacing that we're already getting here, where, you know, these big names, they're starting to really put on a serious showdown. APG, you know, they were only lacking placement points, but they already secured themselves, like, what, 10 points of elimination? That is equivalent to DX, who actually got the chicken dinner, and now we're seeing pretty much everyone in the same lobby. I'm starting to figure out whether if some of these teams will actually need to fight for some of these spots, or, you know, it's good enough to share areas like El Pozo, like Lost to Illness, which we've seen quite a lot back in the playoffs.
Definitely, man. You know, only less than a minute separates us from the next match itself. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be heading straight to Miramar once again. We're going back to Miramar right after as well, and then we're going to take a break from Miramar, going back to Oranga later on once again. Same all participating teams. It's going to be all the same bracket. All 18 teams will be playing and fighting here out of this run.
So,
and I can see how this one's going to play out, bro. I mean, so far on the first initial winner, we got to see the Xavier. Next team around, well, I don't got a question anymore because you got to throw your predictions up on the board. Contra, who are you going for, bro?
Well, I think that VPE start things on the right foot, so I think that, you know, they were denied on second place. Maybe this time around in Miramar, they will feel a lot more comfortable, as majority of these numbers back in the playoffs were actually racked in for ManParang Esports in this respective map. So that's what I'm going for.
I feel like there's gonna be a bit of a standout here for a set of BTR mentality. So
sorry. Custom BM tak ada ke? Ada aku. Aku
custom
BM.
for this one.
Betul ke Tony K tak
okay.
Tak tahu.
And I definitely think that overall they've been really having a decent
Aku custom BM dia.
Despite, you know, last round it was a little bit
Custom
hard
bahasa
for
Melayu.
them to kick things off with, where we saw DX was the one that eventually taken out all of the members. But Ferralis kind of held his own on his last stand as well. If BTR won that, who knows? That could have actually been their chicken dinner too, you know?
Oh yeah, I mean, This kind of like the price you kind of want to pay. We might have to pay here in a contract when you wait it out on the bridge side too much. You know, and then you get a flank, and then you don't really have the best out of all rotations. You don't really have the best of obstacles to play around with, and that's just the sufferment that BT are really faced on the first round. I mean, I kind of got to see their intentions while they really want to get those elimination points, but unfortunately for them on the other side of the bridge, for tries, yes, they were able to get a pick off or two, but it really just slowed them down overall. So if ever they just continue to play on their pacing and probably adapt to what's currently going on, probably because it's just sense what the future may hold, and maybe till then, bro, we might be able to see them on top.
Yeah, we'll definitely want to keep an eye out for such instances. And then when we go in for predictions coming in from our dear producers, they're banking on hopes that we're going to be getting those kind of big ones coming from Team Flash yet again. And I think like in Miramar they've been able to also have certain achievements of their own, so looking rather promising of what they really offer moving into
Azmi is better. Azmi is
matches.
better. Tak payah ulang.
I mean, a lot of these teams can definitely show a lot of promise here. They can definitely own the spotlight in their own sense of time as well. And it's just all going to come down to who can really have the better reads in regards to what the game brings you into the situation, maybe the flight path or the circle itself. We don't know. I mean, that's just the nature of PUBG. Once again, it's just a pretty volatile game, bro.
It definitely is a little bit more volatile.
Nampak belakang aku ada
I would
bantal ni,
definitely
nampak.
say that at least some of the teams they
Bantal
have just
final
about good enough
mate.
protocols to maintain a certain order
Kat
going on
buntut aku
to
pun ada nah.
certain
Bantal.
scenarios, whether if they're taking on a team fight, whether if they're kind of far away from the zone. There's definitely ample ways that some of these teams maneuver. Now that Boom Esports have gotten some of their nemesis already disqualified through the playoffs, I think like Boom Esports will also have decent recovery as well. Yesterday, moving into the top three, just to recall on, some of the performances of the said teams back in the playoffs. Boom Esports make it into the playoffs. I mean, make it into the grand finals barely by the tail end because of them having to secure that top three finish. So I'm thinking that maybe they can just ride on that high momentum that they had coming in from yesterday in order to do a lot more today.
Yeah, we'll see about it here. I mean, there's going to be a lot of projections that, not just us here on the caster, that's going to be projected here a contract. There's still going to be viewers as well looking forward to root out for their respective teams here from the respective countries, perhaps, or just the crowd favorites overall. But we've seen a lot of dark horses. We've seen a lot of underdogs take the spotlight, and the next thing you know, the teams that we barely get to mention actually is going to be the next thing that will actually rise up to the top, and that's just the beauty of PUBG Mobile.
Yep, it's always been a glorious run for some of all these teams. This is where when you pit the best of the best coming out of
welcome to the stream.
They're arguably the best in the world as well. If you take a look at recent track records, especially during the EWC. Half of these names are, over onto the podiums of the EWC, including even Yangon Galacticos, who won that EWC for the first time ever. So it's always great that we actually get to witness it firsthand that, hey, we're the ones rooting them here from the grassroots level. So, of course, we will continue to cheer them on. So I really want to, see if any of these new names that join us, like AZ
Kenapa
Summer,
tukar tempat live? Sebab kena ban. Kena ban dekat TT.
Who will be
TT
able
tai.
to, use this platform in order to really grind and become.
Aku dah 2 kali lah tadi live. Aku nanti malas nanti kena ban pula.
There's just definitely a lot of the times where
nanti takut kena
a
ban.
lot of these teams just
TikTok.
has to be silent, and then all of a sudden they just have a sense of time to shine at most, and
dia punya platform
exactly
tak
hold
dia.
up here and why
Untuk kat masih ada recall ke? Ada.
for sure, I know for sure you guys are excited, and we're pretty
Ada
excited
recall,
as well. And we're just ensuring as well that before we actually head straight towards the battlefield of Miramar on this round number 2, that everything's gonna be
Follow
smooth and
Ash,
tidy
mantap. Follow
before we head
Ash.
towards the
Welcome
action.
guys. Bantu tap.
And
Bantu
overall,
like.
I think that it's been a very beautiful pacing coming in. Once we do get
Cepat lah man start. Banyak borak.
Yeah, we're just
Diorang pun tak start
chill
lagi.
for a little bit while,
Player pun tak
we
start
are
lagi.
getting ourselves ready for our
Player pun tak
upcoming
start
run.
lagi.
So,
Macam mana?
look at
Kita tengok
all
game
these
tadi lah.
It's just
Kita tengok balik game tadi lah. Tim dia ni orang bantai Todak ni. Betul bantai siapa ni. Macam mana boleh menang fight tu? Tengok Dah mula tadi kan. Nak tanya coach, macam mana nak target nombor 2? Yang tu tak boleh dibeli lah. Nombor 2 tu tak boleh beli. Dia memang dah fix. Dia dah fix lah.
For the last initial, so hey, looking like it is back to the red side.
And they just take on the back and forth vibes.
Dia tak nampak
Down to
lah
only
tadi
2
diorang
members
fight.
left. And speaking of which, there's a little bit of back and forth trade.
Mana.
Balak
Lepas tu,
catches 1 member out of the Saber as well.
and mana.
And Lee already seeing
Bring in at least 2 eliminations to name as well. That is brought to you by Satria.
Tak ada dah, kita lari.
Up in
Tadi lepas tu fight ni baik tu.
himself. Yeah, it seems like they really
Macam mana boleh menang fight ni? Macam mana boleh menang fight ni Jom kita bincang lah macam mana boleh menang fight ni. Patutnya fight ni memang dah kalah lah. Patutnya fight ni memang dah kalah dah. Dah memang game over lah.
Over here up against the players of SEM9.
Rosemary pun pajau.
You really want to find a easy way out.
Siapa
but
kata
by the
Rosemary
shorelines,
tak
it's
akan
not
pajau?
safe.
Selagi nama dia manusia, dia akan pajau juga. Nampak? Nampak tak Boss Tommy? Kalau contoh Boss Tommy beli Rosemary 100,000 kan. Bos tak boleh expect dia tak pajau. Open tu. Open. Ini kalau I spray pun I boleh knock dia.
Still got so much time, but Alter Ego Air is actually looking forward, has a quick
Open tu. Tengok tu.
and pretty wide overview here.
Tengok ni ni. Siap slow lagi. Slow tu. Kereta tu slow macam ni macam tu. Nampak? So maksudnya kat sini kan. Human makes mistake.
Easy way out, but by the shorelines, it's not safe at all. Rosemary got him all pretty much
Ya, macam mana boleh menang fight ni?
pinched by the corner, and it's all down to Alba right
Baik tu. Ni boy dapat atas ni baik lah.
here with the jump shot to find it.
Dan dia tak boleh buat apa. Dia dah kena pin kan.
At SEM9, they're
Lepas tu
slowly
dia
being
datang.
depleted.
Ni Amazal tak tahu. Amazal macam mana boleh
Just
knock
like that, Alter Ego also getting traded right back. Alba as well as Rosemary goes down, and it's thanks to Flame coming in from SEM9 from afar.
Yeah.
Nampak fake drop Firen. Ren turun dulu Ren. Lepas tu
So far,
Lepas tu
Baton
kena
Rouge
trade.
Eddie gonna be able to throw a few shots, but nothing connecting whatsoever. Big shots here for the side of
nampak fake dapat yang belakang
SEM9,
dulu.
but Fex Cry.
Mampus. Paus. Dan tag ah.
Oh my, they made it happen. SEM9, they stay alive.
Power.
And just like that, they
We slide.
Macam mana boleh menang?
Yes, they're looking to get
Macam mana boleh menang pun aku tak tahu. Patutnya dah kalah tu.
know what catch a spot. A couple of teams right here. A chill being tapped, and here goes Federales. They're
right here for Fendon.
different side, meaning serious.
Satria.
Now, low ground in. What?
I'm not
Fusion.
from this round as well.
It's so beautiful on their execution. I mean, they've been
First
able
try.
to really
Nampaknya
leverage
Satria.
onto their high ground to against Ruthless. He's got the grenade though.
Nampak
hard to
apa?
guess what
Nampak
actually
fighter
caused a
baik
little
nampak.
up against
Fighter
Ruthless.
Satria.
He's got the grenade though.
Pam.
This might actually cause a little stir up against Ruthless. He's got the grenade.
Pam. Ish, paus siap. Apa beza Amma dengan Fake? Amma dia ikut buntut je. Amma dia ikut buntut. Dia tak ada idea sangat. Fake tu memang level PMSL lah. Tu lah aku boleh cakap. Idea dia ada otak, dia boleh tembak. Dia boleh segalanya. Padahal bocah lagi.
So, pretty hard to flush him out, and that's where Satria Viren dumps right through and will be able to connect
Fake
all the
Scry
shots.
dapat
Now
trade.
chasing for a quarter. He's trying to keep it to
Here happening on this military island, but now we get to see they're only relying onto one. No! Oh, Heisman is free. Perfect coverage now, but still decides to go for the peek out. Finally, we'll be able to buy enough space here to
the sprint towards the side of
Dapat
Doesn't
kill.
seem like he's been able to really
Dapat
spring
PG
towards the
satu
side of
team.
both.
2 lawan 4. Tapi kau kata firepower Amar lagi power kan? Firepower Amar lagi power. Firepower lagi power, tapi kalau contoh overall memang fair lah. No doubt. Tapi firepower Amar lagi power. Lambat lah start. Okay, dah start. Akhirnya sudah start. Bos tanya tu main.
This one bypasses only the southern section of the city, so
Marah saya tak.
teams who are aiming for central areas are still going to be fine to actually traverse across, but anywhere further north, I think that it's just going to be a plan B option for those teams that like to drop into, you know, Azahar. So, I mean, there can be an extension, but a little bit risky with those kind of situations that you have to battle other teams for vehicles.
Definitely a lot of, I would say, outside control here for this map.
Dia power je.
I think the longest slide you can
Power je
come
masing-masing,
from
semua
and
power.
actually accumulate something, probably going to be San Martin as well.
Mazal tu dia kena ada Mika. Kena ada Mika baru power. Ni grand final ke? Grand final. Mazal tu aku nampak kalau ada Mika baru power.
And a lot of teams, you know, try to
Sebab
also
Mika
do something
banyak
to
cakap,
recover,
banyak
but
call.
definitely not going to be the picture, but hey, Valdemar is going to be in the mixture here, so we'll see if there's going to be anyone climbing towards the direction. Chumaketa might just be a pretty hot drop. Same goes for Los Leones. Picado, definitely going to be a big notable drop as well there. There's going to be a pretty interesting intention though from Saturday.
Coach bila masuk hospital. Isnin masuk. Isnin masuk.
Not exactly too certain what's going to be the play for this one, but fortunately though, we take a look at the circle here. This might just be the best flight path for the circle, initial circle out of this round.
This is probably the kindest delivery to all these players where, you know, you guys might not get your drop spots, so it doesn't matter. We're all in the zone.
Aku
But
geram
speaking of
tengok
which, we're already
14.
seeing a little
Geram
party
tengok
going
14 ni.
on.
Mana 14 punya fan masuk sini?
Challenges AZ Slumber
Hello
at
40.
the very same
Where are you
spot.
40?
These two teams, they rarely come into this
Siut
section.
lah 40.
And
Nasib
it
baik
seems like it's
lah.
going to be a full-on
Nasib baik kau tak ada kat
fight.
PMSL 40.
They're taking any form of
Kalau
safety
40 tu
weapons
ada
to
dekat
actually
PMSL tu
go on
memang
out and about.
memang turun tu
UMP
situ
just
tu.
about good enough for them to push right through.
You see a win 94 for a moment or so. An AR with a bipod held down. Sniper to the face, looking like they want to go for some quick scopes, but looking like so far it's going to be players.
Bulatan jahat. Bagi aku ni Rama tak ada bulatan jahat pun.
To take down what
Ni Rama
Warden
bulatan dia baik.
so-called the dark horses already out from the round.
Sebab bulatan dia kalau
boy.
jauh.
It's just so
sedap.
explosive as we're kicking things off. And AZ Slumber, these guys, they were at the brink of elimination.
Lag lah,
Now,
bro.
here are the parties.
Lag.
And
Apa?
T2K, we were just mentioning them right before the show.
Lag
And
apa
now
tu?
they got themselves cooked up with the rest of Team Secret charging.
Yeah, the more we talk about teams, the more bounty that they have on their heads, bro. Like, we gotta tone down sometimes. So unfortunate for T2K, but at least it's only one down here so far.
Itulah macam mana nak training
Nothing's back
ni.
here for
Training
Team
apa?
Secret, which actually funny enough is one of
Boleh je nak
the
fight
more
40
favorable
dulu.
teams as well
Kalau
here for
40
Center
dengan
Miramar, but as
BMS
soon
apa
as
ni?
they say that, the one
Nak
player gets
sangat
knocked
aku
out.
drop
Yeah.
kat 40.
Keep on
Geram.
yapping, Warden. Keep on pushing these teams, bro.
Yeah, and they're like, oh,
Sabar
Contra,
40 sabar.
Warden,
Nanti
you
kita
guys
orang
gotta
bagi
shut up for a little
surprise.
bit, 'cause you guys are putting all the
Ada
chips
satu
first
masa
go
aku akan
round.
bagi surprise
I
kat
mean,
40.
that's not what we really
Hello,
want
40.
to do anyways, but it is just the happenstance of what the current scenes are. Team Secret gunning in for more,
Bagi
getting
dia
that
happy dulu.
beautiful angles as Doc looking to put a closure to the rest of T2K.
Yeah, let's get it here, Doke. Here so far, we're on inside. Mimi's gonna be inside when the UMP sprays on by. Fights one down to the ground. Jackie looking to get trade here from the backside. Be able to get the back door entry. To be enough as well. Mimi does get the read, able to secure another elimination. Yuka's gonna be out. Big ol' spray. Frankie goes down. And now only one player persists for the side of Team Secret. That is gonna be our boy Jackie. Setting up strong with a pump to the
Di
face.
clutch.
One player wants to
Kena
die.
clutch.
The players from Team Secret now eliminated as well.
And they will not be
Nampak kan
denied,
saya skip
and they
tadi, man?
will prevail. Oh, that explosive charge coming from
Rasanya
the
skill
rest
baru.
of Team Secret
Sedap lah juga.
goes down in flames instead.
Skill
Oh, if
baru.
only we've got a replay system. I mean, this fight was absolutely epic. Mimi almost faltered as well. Look at the health bars. It was that close.
Okay, game ni kita nak
And that
nombor
one
apa?
versus
Asal
one
seorang
goal.
hilang tu?
Oh,
So close. But yet
Siapa
so
mati tu?
far.
Dia face
Close
cry,
to
Amma
cigar.
mati lagi. Aduh.
It is just gonna be them trampling on their
Mazal lah
feet.
ini tak main tu.
Shockingly enough, though, look at the players of SEM9 and
Harusnya
Talent
Mazal tak
Esports. They
main.
rotated towards the northern side of the map. Yep, they're like, okay, this is Miramar. So it's gonna be coming in
Dua
pretty
orang
late
je ke?
anyways. We're gonna take our
Mazal
time
mati.
here and just, loot up as much as we can. The Vikings as well, having the whole vicinity of what? San Martin, Water
Ya
Treatment,
main
and
kali.
built a Thrawn for themselves as well. So it's not gonna be a problem. I'm kind of dying to see as well what's happening there on Los Leones, because it does look pretty congested, but looking to be much more predominant by the players of Team Flash and Telecom Digital Alliance. ManParang Esports going to be hitting it from the northern side directly towards Los Leones as well. APG will be coming from the western side of the map. RQ though, they're going to be having a quick qualification in Paraíso. So it's going to be great for them. Boom Esports on the contrary though will be coming from the northern side of the Paraíso Island. So it is going to be them chilling this one through. As much as heavy as it was at the initial start of this game, looking like the spread is pretty much all equal here, so we're definitely going to be expecting a lot of stalemates as we progress towards this round here, at least on the stage here, Contra.
certainly agree with that. I mean, Team Flash as well as CD Alliance, particularly, they've always shed that area when it comes down to Los Leones. One taking north, another taking the south side. So Team Flash, they're happily to oblige that, hey, so long as you don't stir onto our territory, we're not going to be, messing around with you guys unless it's really certainly necessary. So liking the approach that they're actually going with so far.
Hey, man. And take a look at it here for the side of Easy Slumber. I mean, they are taking a chill here so far as well. Too much things to worry about. I mean, they got the overview, they got everything that they need, but fortunately for them, there's not going to be any casualties. I mean, in the process as well. I mean, they were able to take down Trevor Massey, and that's going to be granting them 4 elimination points.
Matinya siapa? Tak tahu lah. Tak perasan tu. Main 2 tournament sekaligus ke? 2 tournament sekaligus. Tadi petang.
Looking to be much more defined here, comparing how it went out in Wrangle, where we were granted by like what 4 clashes right from the get-go, and there was just a lot of buddies dropping there. And even if the one squad is able to prevail out of the mess, they still lose player or 2 in the process, which definitely bit them down in regards to how the definition would come by to a squad that should actually try to win off a round, and was pretty scrappy here, but
Monte pun 40 ambil semua dia nak
again.
hantar dia.
Yeah, I would just call it the calm before the storm, right? Overall, like, we definitely know that the top 18 teams, everyone can actually have the means to fight with their surefire power. It's really down to strategy on how they actually progress upon some of all these matchups. So definitely it is gonna be a little bit of a dicey situation for some of these guys who, look towards securing certain areas of play, and it's just kind of hard to really find that right configuration if you're going to be a little bit more on the outskirts. Some of the teams that did manage to at least secure some really good spots, namely APG, who always starts off in Chimacera, or even some of all the other guys, they're feeling A-okay, and look at him go. The team charging towards T2K, they've already been weakened down to 2, and Mimi still actually has it in the bag, taking down Viper.
Yeah, still looking to get some more Ignis, so he's going to be out away from the scene. Going to be coming there from the northern side of the map, but unfortunate for him, his teammate's going to get overwhelmed, and Yummy himself will be able to get the knock as well. Should be secured elimination for himself. Yep, big pop to the face. It's going to be one less of a player they got to worry about here from the side of T2K Ignis. What more can you do? And they're going to be having the sense of commitment now, and Ignis can definitely fall back and disengage from this casualty, but definitely going to be a loss here for the side of T2K. While we take a look at the circle here, it's going to be shifting directly towards the southern side of the map, and we see this. We saw it in Wrangle, bro. I don't know what's up with southern side and of circles, but it's definitely happening here as well here in Miramar.
Oh yeah, and this is going all the way down under. So as much as I talk about APG having a good spot, now they're also in a little bit of a conundrum on how do they actually move deeper into the zone. Team Flash right now hunkering down. They were not too far off from south side of Los Angeles, so they are definitely in the firm control, and now taking upon yet another fight, charging right through the compound, trying to fend off up against the rest of these members of Alter Ego. They're just slithering by, but it doesn't seem like Alter Ego is fully decided yet whether they should really pass through, and yes, they will, with those 3 members taking the longhouse by the very tail end. So it's going to be back and forth trades with the nades to kick things off.
Kicking off here on a high note once again. Team Flash out through Aris. Both have proven himself into this battlefield, but only one will prevail out of this. Nate flies by. Big shot so far. Win able to get a slight bit of connection there with Rosemary 911. Pushing through here with the DBS. Up against the pump action. And Win gets the pump to the face. Team Flash now here dropping the numbers. And Badru now going to be closing up the distance as well here on the window side. Hopping up. Now going to be offering a 2v1 here up against Diaz. Sprays on by. DBS on his hand. Both players has the DBS. Now
Hey,
1v1.
Allah.
But it's going to be Diaz beating him to it. Badru's going to be on. Now. 1-for-1 trade here between Team Flash and Alter Ego Ares. No sense of definition whatsoever. It's looking to be a 3v3 situation as we speak here, Contra.
Oh, it's so close. And now going for a little bit of that
Jauh
reset
sebenarnya
before
kalau
they
skill
actually
kita
perfect commit.
santai.
And now with only those two members
Delay,
left,
guys.
Alter
Baru
Ego
kedua.
trying to jostle the whole up for control for the moment.
SEM9 memang
Now
power
full
macam
reset
tu.
on the side of Team Flash. Back up against the wall. We'll really have to see if Alter
SEM9
can
lagi
actually
power
form up a clutch.
pusing-pusing.
The Flames now tear through the windows. And now they're prepared for a fight. Krypton toss with an aid! And just like that, they still will score.
Wow. Beautiful control there for the side of Team Flash. And you got a note though. Initiating the fight. They could have disengaged all they want to, but they fall on their feet there off the clash. That's just going to be an unfortunate look there for set of Alter Ego Erison. Maybe two rounds in a row where they're going to be pretty stale, not really going to be able to find the most of an impact. They're pretty much potentially able to get off the round.
Halo, Ezek
We're
mati
still
seorang.
going to be stuck there by 2 points as we progress towards the grand finals.
Yeah, it's just nail biting for some of these guys. Finding any form of creases just to hold on for a good time. Over on the south side of Valley, seems like Toad is going to be going for a little bit of chase. It's going to be off of his track though. I mean, that was
chicken
way over on the buggy for the member of
chicken,
Alpha
fake
Ego.
chicken.
And the rest of these other
Chicken,
players
guys.
now trying to see if they could even find any space to even
Nampak SEM9
break
macam jauh
through.
kan, tapi
Whereas
chicken.
ManParang Esports, they're dead in the center, trying to find a spot for them to eventually creep up over onto the rest of Celcom TG Alliance.
Jauh gila weh.
Slow and steady. 2 points for this climb. AZ Slumber starts off with those 4 points, and right now, some of these guys are slowly getting depleted. As AZ Slumber had that vehicle detonated, and now they're being forced to this fight up against the rest of the Savior.
It just seems to be no man's land here at all between AZ Slumber and Saber, but turning from the back. Gonna go for the spray. One more bullet to connect, and that's gonna be enough by AT. And only one more player to worry about here. On the contrary, should it be AZ Slumber now here falling apart? The last and final player for the set of AZ Slumber is nowhere to be seen. Draw our visuals here towards Fourth Thrives here at Esports and off the rotation. But if you take a look at the map as well, that is going to be APG here coming across them pretty nearly, but they go and avoid the scene here. So that's going to be a casualty that they might not have to worry about for the time being.
Yeah, not too much of a cause of concern for now. Meanwhile, the rest of the players of Alpha Gaming, they take a slow journey as they are just not too far from where they were inside of Chumacera, and they found a couple of these players flying around the hillside. They heard those shots.
Komen lah sikit guys. Aduh, jangan komen tu, komen tu.
Against the rest of BTR.
Tolong tu
This is a
komen.
very tricky scenario, even for BTR to even try to navigate. They actually have a member pushing forward, and it's going to be Falak actually charging right through towards the majority of the rest of BTR.
Gonna get this one through here. It's a beautiful car, by the way. Oops. Moving back here, Fourth Thrives.
Siapa chicken?
We're
SEM9
going to
chicken.
fight here against BTR by Vitality, which has
SEM9
been
chicken,
my
guys.
favorite team so far on this round of Miramar.
Diorang kat mana?
Fourth Thrives. So-called
Diorang
dark
kat gudang.
horses honor my story. He's going to be flying by here for a set of XC.
Kenapa tu kita tak main?
Not
Main
able to
lah.
serve any
Tak main
connection
ke?
whatsoever. It's
Main
going to be a
je.
battle of pick-hops here
Dia
for the
tak
time being.
main
And
Schweb
they're going to be able to call for
siapa?
reset here. Fourth Thrives. They don't want to
Ezek
have
tim
a piece of
mana?
that.
Tim Malaysia. Assalamualaikum main apa khabar?
Definitely don't want to be
Baik.
part of this
Baik.
messy
Komen.
situation.
Mantap. Komen
As
dok.
they continue their way forward, they're already being peppered by a couple of all these sprays coming from the side of BTR, while BTR have one member coming to the shots, coming out of Vikings instead. I can barely see them on the minimap. And great onus on the side of Vexy to be able to try to trade back in order to buy a little bit more space and time. BTR right now by the edge of the zone. They really gotta find their way out right now as they're getting pinched by these two teams.
Wow. House up their shaft specs. He's still trying to stay alive.
Gua tengok dulu jap aku tengok dua orang.
Off across the map. Better out. Gonna go for a spray down here off on that vehicle, but not gonna be close at all. The shots will be fired as well there from the Viking from the bottom side. No, actually, the Xavier's as well. BTR look to have a pretty good hold here on his mountain side, but all across the feed. Look at this. The players of the Xavier now closing out the distance.
They really want to choke out the rest of BTR. Two members left. Can they do more? Red face and Millie goes down. Ah, clean shots coming in from the side of the Xavier, but it's going to be traded right back. But still, damage being done. Now down to 1 versus 1. Levi's. Is it going to be allowed? He does actually have a couple more connections. And that was a point stolen away. BTR crumbled because there was some help coming from the rest of the Vikings.
Yeah, man. Superman up in there. Oh. Able to get it done. Yep. Superman once again saves the day for the rest of the crew, but it was definitely not going to be a problem for the side of the Xavier, but Superman just made it happen. BTR now is going to be away from the scene, and that's going to be unfortunate for them. Only 1 point accumulated off this round, and 3 points in total. Definitely a bit of a stale round as well here. I'm coming from the last two here for them. And we draw things back here with Team Flash, where it might possibly meet the players of the Xavier as well from the top side, but I don't exactly know if they know the call.
BTR kat komen, tak tahu.
And it's a rough
Tak boleh
call.
kat AB lagi ke? Tak.
Thankfully, there was just about enough time for them to actually go in to pick up all these three members.
Ya, kau layan dulu guys. Aku tengah tengok dia main
As far as
Aku tengah tengok dia main. Aku pakai dua earphone ni.
Flash, and there was those members of Vikings early on that was actually putting up a little bit of a tough shot over on the corner, but it didn't really deter them. Instead, it deterred the rest of BTR. So it's like, thanks, buddy. I owe you maybe a bond me once we're done with this run. And, well, so long as they don't duke out up against each other later on. So Fajar finds one up against the Alliance, but they're on rotation, though. So I wonder what really went on.
Yeah, I wonder so as well. So far, I mean, Silicon Video Lines, yeah, I mean, they've been pretty silent here all across this round. And that's kind of like serving how they did as well. Nature serves it all there on a wrangle where just took it slow and started to shine and pop off later on. But now shots being fired by SEM9. The Malaysians once again, the Tigers, to be hunting the wolves here. Boomy Esports, good for the pop here. High Q on the back. Throwing some shots, but fortunately for Santa Boomy Esports, there's still going to be enough distance drawn away.
Ni online ke offline? Online.
Yeah, they've been on the prowl for a long time right now.
Tak ada offline pun.
It's now big decisions for SEM9. I mean, we're only actually playing this round with only 3 players. Yet again, they've been able to actually survive into top 13. I mean, you see majority of all these teams that got depleted, it's basically a full-on commitment where majority of the others are still relatively healthy. Arguably, maybe not so much for the side of AZ Slumber. They got stopped by D-Saver as well, being forced to basically play in between. Speaking of that, remember AZ Slumber is in between both Todak as well as APG, and somehow nobody sniffed him out yet at this moment.
Yeah, it's pretty wild here. Pushing through. Team Flash now here, coming across the players of the Xavier. And as much as the Xavier was able to pull away off the first round, not really looking so right for him, and this time around, Team Flash though going to be calling it quits just a little bit. They are going to be looking to rotate there towards the back as well. Probably try to offer a pitch or just get a little bit more recon after all. Still going to be 13 squads from in here, and you are still talking about stage 5 off this round. Now the Vikings throw some shots as well. That is going to be Team Flash here throwing some bullets to the direction of Team 24 and the rest of the crew of Forest Rise, and they're going to secure one on the nation in the process here. Contra.
Oh, they're definitely vying for a whole lot more. From the low ground now, going for a little bit more push. SEM9 loses 1. I'm not too sure if they could actually deal with this current situation because they're currently split apart. So they won't be able to actually hunker down to even have any form of response up against the rest of MGF Viking. And therefore, they opt to retreat into the further portions of the warehouse. try to reconvene at the very least. Oh, shots from out. Over onto the buggy. Not going to deter Effects Cry, but here comes the Molotov finally taking out Gachakuta.
Oh my days. Hey, Plumber now going to be out away from the scene. That's going to be Todak here. Up against APG. APG on the top side inside of the compound. But Nakul from the back actually able to secure the kill. From the Talent Esports, it's going to be a three-way clash here. Up against Talent Esports who are looking to put themselves into the picture. Todak, they can go for the strike anytime. He's going to be swinging on by quite out in the open. But in the process, no, SEM9 is going to be eliminated by the players of Celcom Digi Alliance.
My. More to go as they now draw in the entire full force of the squad to ring right true. The rest of Todak looking to isolate East, knowing that he's being depleted a little bit. I believe that it's still going to be a decent hold with that kind of spread that APG has, as they're doing just fine for the meantime. But as I say that, the bombardment is slowly chunking onto them.
Going through here, a pretty prolonged clash, but now Todak here going to be trying to go for the entry here from the left side of the map. It's a fully composed squad here for the players. So Todak up against APG, Doc, Refus, Zeol. Do you have what it takes to hold your ground? So far, it's going to be cooking on by here. He's looking to throw this one through. Not going to be able to get the connection out just yet. Pill's going to be popped as well. They want to ensure that they're going to be fully conditioned here before they head straight towards the clash. Now they're moving quick here. Nayan definitely going to be closing up the distance here. Slowly but surely they call, but now the players of Talent Esports is going to be hitting it from the backside, so it could be a pitch 12 here to be offered up against Todak. Refus tries to go for the shot here with a DPS, but can't sustain. But no, never mind. Able to get a shot there to connect up against Man Up from the side of Todak. And now it's going to be Talent Esports as well, putting themselves into the mixture. Back and forth as we see Alpha Gaming here on again the trap of the players. But Todak in the process, they start off the fight, but they can't sustain their lives.
Oh, they could not really finish it off, and now the rest of Talents are swinging by as well on the weakened side of APG. And look who's here, RQ. Everybody wants a piece of this ground, and there's just barely enough space for APG to even hold on to.
Definitely gonna be barely anything at all. APG has been through so much clashes already inside of this compound. They can't catch a break, but they're playing their hearts out. Refus once again gets knocked in the face of the players of RQ. Noga Ryu here looking to get the trade, looking to get the pickup, but now in the process, APG will get eliminated. But the battle still ensues. It's now gonna be the players of Talent Esports here. Nakul gets dropped by Dipsty from the right side of the map. Pushing through, Nexel from the back as well, getting sprayed by the players before it drives. It's a 4-way clash here, Contra.
And it seems like RQ, they're really taking charge of this battle. And the rest of Talent Esports, they're holding on over the corners of the container. How much longer can they actually hold on? Apparently not. And it's a dominating spree for RQ. Oh, what a feast for all of us here with the biggest teams just going on the full clash. And now all of that subsides. And could RRQ make their way inbound where ManParang Esports is directly in the center?
What a segment. What a sequence we got. Now the game continues here with the Xavier Team Flash, the Vikings, Boom Esports, Telcom Digi Alliance, RRQ and ManParang Esports alongside 4 Thrives. 25 for the lives out here on round number 2 of the grand finals. 24 OP gonna go for the spray up against the players of RRQ, but are you so certain you want to take the fight away? You're only all alone. Have you seen what RQ did to those boys? Not exactly. It was a murder on that compound there, Contra.
Yeah, it was pretty much slaughterhouses being set up over on that course. And right now, they're bound for a whole lot more 6 points. Looking for 10 if they can shut out the rest of Boom Esports. Can they do so? Is the big question. Plenty of smokes now. Pop right through. Boom Esports barely holding on. But they do have some creases that they can actually find some cover from. But does it remain to see the rest of these RQ members? Do they have enough stocks to actually go for the exchange? Because last fight, they've just cleared out their baggages.
Definitely now. Big old spray here once again. You see here from the top side, Boom Esports, they're just playing. Holding things down. The smoke's going to be deployed here. That's going to be buying him enough coverage. Mission's not going to be so much spotted here for them. Game persists here with Boom Esports looking to actually draw the distance closer to the players of RQ. Yummy here. Nade's gonna be hooked up. They hold this one down. One player down to the ground for the side of the RAQ, and then it's going to be one less player that they got to worry about here inside of the clash. But in the process, the winners of the previous round, the Xavier, will be eliminated.
The Xavier, I mean, they held on for so long, they couldn't really find any form of that avenue. And now, down to the last couple of all these spaces for the top 5. And it seems to me that it will be pretty much the circle swerving into the favor of the ones that are smack dab in the middle, and ManParang Esports is gonna have a good time from here on out. But the big question is, if RQ as well as Boom Esports is taking that duel, once they win, can they actually overwhelm the rest of ManParang Esports?
Definitely. Now it's going to be a battle fighting now here once again. Boom Esports, they want to finish off what they started, and they wipe away the players of RQ. And now we get to see the tally now. Here comes Shrew. Only 6 squads remain now. ManParang Esports crawl to the ground here. Just stand up against the players all around the cost. I mean, they got pretty strong control here inside of the compound, but going to be circled around by the players here, and it's not going to be the easiest thing to deal with later on. But we do come across a bit of a stalemate. But on the feed, Vikings actually able to find one player of Celcom Digital Alliance, and he is going to be able to find one player from the side of Celcom Digital Alliance as well.
10 points already for Team Flash. I mean, they've been racking things up from the get-go, and right now, can they actually go in for the full cleanup? Vikings now, just by the edges, squeezing right past them. That member of Celcom Digital Alliance, Adik Luke, trying to hold firm. Just by the corner of the shack, Trang now putting a little bit more pressure towards him. Celcom Digital Alliance, I'm not quite sure whether they can actually get more position, because who they're up against, it's all a matter of 4 stacks. Everyone really proving themselves to be the big fraggers on the block.
Most definitely, yeah. We're down to the last 5 here remaining. Red Bull finds 966 away, and it drops down to composition of this last and final run. Probably the most defined last circle of it all, as we have 4 players of each squad now. Team Flash Tops has an overview of the players of the Vikings, but won't he beats him to win, and that's going to be win eliminated as well. From afar, Red Bull from ManParang Esports finds Tops, and that's going to be the last 2 players here for the side of Team Flash.
And this is why he is being deployed into VPE. The main marksman right now hitting the mark with goals. He's trying to take charge of this current altercation with the rest of these members of Vikings, just charging right in. And it seems like Superman, he does not care if there's a kryptonite in front of him. He will still prevail.
ManParang Esports feeling the groove. Did you get it? Punch is so nearly, so smiling. Rooting for the squad, and you're definitely feeling it right now. And if ever they can get through the players of Boom Esports, might just be their game. They're holding on to a pretty strong position, but the players of Boom Esports has a pretty big control as well here on the parameter. There's not going to be any pitches to be offered here. They can go for the double trap from left to the right, but it's all going to come down to the timing here. The zone has to dictate the pace of this game. Can it be ManParang Esports, Boom Esports, or MVKE? The Battle of Vietnam, Indonesia, and Thailand. Let's get it.
Oh yeah, Boom Esports strategizing, trying to seek out if they could find any form of pain points of ManParang Esports. He's looking around the open ground, so that is a very cheeky angle that they're actually going up against. Ripple needing to deal with these 2 teams is going to be a daunting task. I mean, he's doing solid work as of the moment. Whereas, once Boom Esports strikes, then perhaps his attention span might need to be focused back over to Boom. And Gilly, he will be able to hold on. So that is not even close yet for Boom Esports. Now they have to find recovery, and the base flop right through. Bombit barely dodging that one. And now it's a full set for ManParang Esports.
True Labs are going to get tagged out, but they're going to be able to secure elimination. And now, only 2 players here for Jar alongside M from the side of Boom Esports here trying to sustain their lives with the back. At their back, it's going to be the zone. And it's going to be Moonty actually finding Red Bull away. Double clash to be offered. And look at the players of the Vikings looking to offer the pinch from the back. ManParang Esports, they're not going to be ready for this.
This is going to be so tough. I mean, Vikings hop on their trails. The nade actually connected over on the member of VPE, but he goes in for the jump shot. Oh, he finds it in return. Mastery goes down, and now they need that quick reset because the rest of the Vikings, they close in. The nades are flying right through, and they are backs up against the wall.
The Vikings, the vampires, ensues the crusade, the battle, the last and final stand of it all. Nate's flying by. A battle of Thailand and Vietnam. Let's get it on.
Here we go. Two members being pinned, and the Molotov connects. Oh, Superman! Superman! He's got it. He's gonna fight all of them, and the Vikings triumph over the barren deserts of Miramar.
Oops. Bloopers. And there we go. It's gonna be the Vikings. Your boys from the MGN Vikings Esports claiming the second round of the grand finals. It was definitely the exam around the first round. Second they go here for the side of Vikings. And we talked about them at the start of the broadcast. I mean, they definitely had their own fair share of the spotlight, but weren't really able to close things out for quite some time, and finally they do it at the perfect time here on the grand finals.
It was all about just getting themselves into position, I guess, for the playoffs, where they're not really showing what their potentials are when it comes down to firepower. And here they finally do. They finally open up all these kind of fights which they weren't willing to take back in the playoffs, and it's just a great look for the side of MVKE. Now, we talked about dark forces. Perhaps this will be the one that triumphs above the rest.
What a spectacular round overall there. I mean, you know what, bro? As much as in control Vampire Esports was, the Vikings, they knew exactly when to strike, and that was when it was the Vampires' weakest. And you know, they knew for sure that, oh, on the feed, wait, they're dealing with Boom Esports. Actually, let's put ourselves to the mixer and make sure that they're not able to get the reset up against us. And look at the nades, the mollies, just connecting the utilities overall. I never knew the Vikings could, any sense of Vikings can actually use nades and Molotovs properly.
Modern day Vikings they are, so, you know, maybe back in the days, if they found gunpowder, they will do exactly the same. We'll never know. But of course, we gotta look at some of the incredible stats coming out. Wunti as well as Superman. And it really felt like they just told Trang as well as Tins, you know what? You just have to look after a Wound as well as Superman, and Ware's just gonna win the game for you. So it seems like the case. What's interesting is the fact that the two main fraggers have like 700 over damage, and then the other have literally identical damage being done.
Yeah, man. I mean, damage definitely is a big factor overall. You know, you're getting the tag there, and I feel like Trag and Tints definitely was one of those squads that was just able to, you know, get the initial attach-ups, and it's just so fortunate there Superman and Wunti was just there to really secure this one through, and that's going to be a pretty great start here for the grand finals for this Vietnamese squad. Vikings, I mean, again, they've always drawn closer and closer to the winner chicken there, and finally they do actually strip this one through. Fine here on this grand finals round number 2.
That's right, and overall, I mean, we've definitely seen the level of tenacity that this team has, and the understanding of the situation was just sublime. I mean, they knew that they could actually prey onto those teams who are getting themselves busy in the mix of the battle, and they were thankful to Boom Esports. You know, they're the ones that stirred the nest for the members of ManParang Esports, and then VPE, I mean, that spot was so hard to really take away from them. Even, of course, understandably, Boom Esports struggled to even bypass when the rest of VPE kind of funneled in towards their direction. So, that being said, I still think that it's been great recovery, and Boom Esports, like I said before, now that there's nobody stopping them inside Impala, they get to play a decent game, getting themselves in the top 4, and of course, Vikings, so far, this is just their strength in numbers, and also the sheer understanding of what needs to be done at every given point in time.
Yeah, I just gotta say how consistent Superman has been in regards to playing this inside of the tournament. Whenever the Vikings trample, Superman is always there. It's just kind of ironic to say that, you know, it's acting like he's the hero of the table all day, but he was definitely a true big factor in regards to, you know, just bagging into eliminations. Now we take a look at a bit of a head-to-head comparison here between them and ManParang Esports, and I gotta say, second time in a row where Vampire Esports was
Ponteng ya,
so
ponteng.
freaking close to getting the chicken dinner. Literally
Ponteng
happened.
ya.
They got compared with the Xavier earlier. They're gonna get compared here with Vikings, which they're gonna have 8 eliminations once again. Exactly how it went down on the first round for them. Now we move over towards the MVP of the match, and that is gonna be Team Flash Zias overall.
Yeah, I think that Team Flash definitely have shown that they are fighters over onto those corners of the map, but they were taking too many of these fights that resulted in them getting completed. But out of the many, Zeus, okay, according to Sir Cloud, he says that he spoke to the players. So how do I pronounce your name? It's actually Hugh. But then again, if it's Hugh, why do you add a Z and an S? But you know, I guess I don't question that, but we'll still call him Zeus, man. I mean, he's like the god of thunder, striking everything down, being the MVP of the match.
If Zeus is here, then where's Hades? Where's Aphrodite? No, I'm kidding. we got you know, a battle that I want to see inside of PUBG Mobile and outside of in real life as well. It's definitely gonna be Zeus and Superman, bro. I feel like that would be a pretty strong matchup overall. But if we take a look at the top performers here, that's gonna be you alongside 1T, Superman, and Red Bull overall. So that's gonna be our top 4 squad remaining there, and it's gonna be the match leaderboards now here. 19 points has been accumulated out of the Vikings, 9 off the elimination, 10 off the placement, and it's 19 quick mats, by the way. Remember, Esports and Team Flash gonna be tied up here with 14 points in total. Boom Esports with 12, 7% of RQ. Cyclone Digital Alliance will actually have 5. Alongside the Xavier and AZ Slumber, 4 for 4. Alongside T2K Esports, Force Fry, Stallion Esports, APG, alongside Todak will have 3 for themselves. Team Secret will have 2, and only 1% of BTR, and the rest 50 still on this round.
Yeah, I still gotta say it's very top heavy, but who actually is some of the biggest winners out there for the past rounds? ManParang Esports, I mean, twice being on second place, they should be currently sitting very close to the top, if not the top at the moment. Finally, we got every single piece of all these elimination points on the block with a total of 66, or should I say maybe 4 members got depleted by the zone or so. Despite so many numbers out there, I'm a little disappointed that the headshots is only 7 because we've seen bigger numbers than that. But Bose, that was probably the longest shot that we've seen so far. 395, just 5 more in order to make the big 400.
Definitely, man. And it was a pretty hefty round there, and it was a pretty prolonged one as well. And we take a look at the overall rankings. Vampire Esports going to be there on top of the board, actually, because of how consistent they've been. The Xavier, they do drop down as well towards the number 2 spot, but the Vikings climbing 6 rankings coming from this very round itself, and Team Flash is low at 3. Up for set of SEM9, APG, and T2K, they do drop 4, 3, and 2, while Cyclone Digital Alliance, they do involve themselves into the mixture for the number 9 spot, and Boom Esports, on the contrary, is going to be pretty stale there on the number 5 spot.
Yeah, I think maintaining in the top 5 is just about as good enough. I mean, they're not too far off from eventually racing to the top again. Keep in mind, I mean, end of the day, there's still gonna be that smash rule, so most likely not, it's not gonna be done when it comes down to day 4. Meanwhile, the rest of the field will still need to really get themselves recovered. Overall, they gotta adapt to this brand new pacing here in the grand finals. There's yet to be points garnered from inside of AST. Team Secret also only walk away with 2 points together alongside with Alter Ego as well as BTR. So all the big names for the playoffs having a little bit of slumber, while AZ Slumber themselves are actually ahead of some of these guys.
Yeah, definitely, man. And you know, for Secretary Ramassi, unfortunately for them, they've gone through what? Pretty 2 pretty heavy rounds off the get-go, and they've been just, you know, finding themselves into those casualties, which just hasn't been, you know, the most professional thing to really happen, especially when you are now here at the grand finals. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't exactly know what to tell you, Contra, but I'm definitely lost for words here. But we still got what, 4 rounds to go before we head straight towards you know, the next initial day itself. So there's still gonna be a lot of actions up ahead.
That's right. So we're gonna be taking a short break. When we come back, we'll bring you on to the next round in Miramar once more.
Step into the ring.
Here in the grand finals, it's been 2 back-to-back wins for Vietnam already. When is it going to be the rest to show up to take a bite of that chicken dinner as well? Well, somebody took a bite early on the break, and of course, my boy Warden is joining alongside me, Contra, as we'll be your casters for the entirety of the evening. We got 4 days of the grand finals. You're in the best timing possible, as we only kicked off with our 2 matches. So game 3, this time we're shifting things up a little bit. We're going back to Miramar again. So do you expect to see pretty much the same names on the block to be sealing the show?
Hey, you know what, man? I'm coming from what I've seen from the last 2 rounds. It has been rightfully owned, but it's out of Vietnam. So whoever, I don't care who is it going to be, as long as from Vietnam, I'm going for Vietnam, bro.
Fair enough. I mean, I think the ones that is missing on the block right now is Team Flash. I mean, they were pretty much having a member to be the MVP of that last round, so they're not too far off of that radar as well. But then again, big question now remains: Alter Ego, BTR, some of these guys, I mean, they're not looking so hot right now as compared to, you know, what we saw coming in from the past couple of days.
Yeah, man. I mean, we'll see later on as well on what more they can offer. Go back to Miramar once again, and cool. I mean, yeah, we've had the exam already. We have the MVN Vikings. Now, what's left remaining is definitely going to be Team Secret or Team Flash. So it's just going to be a toss-up between those two, but I feel like in some way, if it's going to be a wrangle, then definitely going to be Team Flash. But on Miramar, I kind of feel like Team Secret has this one on the bag. So, hey, let's go down for down, ban for ban here for the side of Team Secret here. I'm going to be going for Team Secret for my prediction.
Okay, so you're going for another Vietnamese team. So that makes us both the same, except that I'm picking Team Flash this time around.
Okay.
So let's actually get it on the board. Are you gonna join on the Vietnam hype train production? Maybe there's VX on the board. So, of course, no pressure, no pressure. Go ahead, pick whatever you want, Prod. We're still gonna be looking to break that free. Oh, MVKE. Okay. Back-to-back chicken dinner. They call for it.
Okay, so it's a battle of Vietnam here, and we kind of did this exact similar vote for the set of BTR by Vitality, and if I'm not mistaken, we did actually get it right now. So yeah, so let's see if it's gonna be a Vietnamese squad winning this one through or not. Regardless, there's gonna be somewhat of a, you know, they're a bit more, what do you call this? I forget the word, but it's definitely gonna be more specific for one of us here. Is it going to be Team Secret? Is it going to be MGN Vikings or Esports? Or is it going to be Team Flash? We don't exactly know. Or is it even going to be Vietnam in this round? We don't exactly know, bro.
Nah, no idea at all. I mean, it's just that some of these guys are really putting on a real good show. You know, I was hoping to actually see much more coming out of that part Esports. Last round, it came close, got overwhelmed. So now I'm like, changing the tides. I'm like, yeah, feeling maybe a cup of like good Vietnamese coffee will do me real good right now to really back up my evidence of how well these guys have been playing so far. But on top of that, I think like even names like CD Alliance and a few other notable mentions have been able to really keep up to the spree of all these teams. So much as we say it was very top heavy, it's still very skirmishy from all around the block. So I can't wait to get this one once again running, as we will now take flight on our third map of the day.
Yeah, let's get it here in Flat Path. It's gonna be across from the north side of the map, so hey, looking to be pretty good here so far, and it seems to be pretty centralized as well, so I'm able to expect a bit of an even spread here for this very specific round here for the set of Miramar, unlike on the first initial round on Miramar, where we actually saw it pretty much leaning towards the side of the map, and it was coming from across from the eastern side to the western side of the map, so it wasn't really looking good. But look at this though. This is probably one of the most straightest fly path in the center that we've had here in the season for the tournament here, Contra.
Yeah, I was almost gonna reply to like, what, do we have some queer kind of lines to be actually put up? Well, I'm just joking. Don't cancel me for that, chat. I mean, yeah, overall, things are looking very nicely set up for all the other teams out there, as this is gonna allow majority team to just get to where they need to be. So, for most part, last time around, I mean, we've seen a lot of fights happening around that Minas Generalis area, where we've had like T2K, who always fought Team Secret for that spot, it seems like they've already made a little bit more of that change. Now that they are actually going into areas like St. Martin, which, to be honest, I think this is a better trade-off because St. Martin, you got more loot to actually work off from, and then if you still want to plot something up against Team Secret, they could absolutely do just that. Now, this is definitely interesting because we are once again getting a Southern-centric kind of ending. Could still be around that Los Leones or Impala area, so to speak.
Yeah, on Los Leones, we do have our Q, Team Flash, and Backcom Digital Alliance. Boomy Sports are going to come from the north side of the map. There is going to be two squads as well. They're from the southern side, but time being, though, we're not really seeing a lot of hot drops coming in. I mean, drop clashes at all, so it's going to be a pretty sale, but again, it's kind of like the nature you kind of want to expect, especially since the flight path was pretty centralized, and every team is just going to have their own respective, comfort drops, so definitely going to be a bit of a stale approach, but the circle, though, does shift towards the northern side of the map bit more, so that could be a bit of worry later on, but time being, no, it shouldn't be a problem as we still got a minute and 30 seconds left to stall out.
Plenty of time for them to really work with, so maybe they just really want to reset a little bit more on those kind of tempo. Now that everybody actually gets their hands onto fair enough resources across the map, then maybe it will be equal odds this time around, where certain teams didn't manage to, have the right arsenal of tools for them to even traverse around the map. So D-Savior, they've definitely been an interesting bunch. I mean, they're the ones who went out the very first map back in Wrangle, and especially with Lamborghini back, it's been looking really good. I mean, all along there was this other player that's just named DX, which I've always thought like perhaps that could have actually been Lamborghini. And overall to see that the AL, we got MyV. So I don't know if you guys can ever look up MyV. We've got so many memes about MyV because this is kind of like the running joke where they're the kings of the road. It's a small little car, but they always act like they're the boss of the road, even besting things like a BMW.
Well, I actually didn't know that that's how you were able to pronounce MyV. Yeah, it's something like I don't feel like I'm gonna butcher that sentence and I get a call by production. What the hell did you just say?
Yeah. Yeah. So MyV is kind of like a short for My Vision, like Malaysian Vision, whatever you want to call it, and hence why they call that vehicle MyV. But now we got this player named Vivey. Like I don't know what to make of it.
I swear, these pro players with their names, definitely a lot of questions sometimes.
Yeah, well, at least it's not too vulgar. I've seen some really nasty ones back in the past. One,
We had a conversation. We
talked about it. We're not gonna say what names there are, but yeah, y'all be wilding out there. Meanwhile, it's not too wild to kick things off. This is probably the quietest start that we've ever gotten. 3 minutes in, no action whatsoever.
Not at all. Yeah, I mean, not even a blood drop at all. I mean, this is pretty silent. And if
you do your own basic protocols like sending members to scout, looking at around surroundings that you could basically take as checkpoints and then continue on to the pursuit. But speaking of the silence, I think it's about to be getting a little bit more noisy between the two teams. I mean, just my assumption though, no guarantees because Woon, he just drove nearby those members of BTR, so he's just basically tracking.
Yeah, stop playing it cool, bro. I mean, you just jinxed it. That's the thing, bro. I'm playing it off, Watchparty. You just jinxed it, man. Could have been a situation, but you had to mention it. You just had to let it happen, bro. Lazy though actually has an overview, and he actually finds Munti on the mountain side. So you might be right on this one. And actually on the other side of the map, alter ego areas just come across and meet the players of Boom Esports, but they don't really go for the commitment. I feel like everyone's just taking their time here, and I don't exactly know what kind of thoughts that they were able to gather back in the drawing board between the round itself, but one thing for sure, they are definitely playing this one hello safely.
Yeah, rightfully so. I mean, some of these areas where Alter Ego is wrapping around, it's going to be rather dangerous. Boom Esports now just finish off their loot by the corners of Impala and looks to take the southern wrap instead. Interesting enough, they started off because of the flight path directly into areas like Crater Field, so they are actually extending their hole over onto the circle. Boom Esports looking to garner a little bit more control. Krypton now getting tagged up. The Indonesian side going at each other, and seems like Crazy, another fine individual coming from Indonesia, managing to get one knockoff over on the side of Cellcom TG Alliance.
Pushing through here. Gonna be falling back. Rosemary 911 getting pretty much stacked up. Fortunately, has still 2 first aids to hold on to as well, so he can definitely get the reset. But on the feet, and he is finally finds Yummy going down to the ground, and that's gonna be the first blood here, brought to you by ZSF Team Flash.
Beautiful work so far. As we finally break the silence coming in from all these teams, and now they get a little bit more involved. Zeus, the MVP of the past round. Naps won once again, coming in from such a distance as well. I mean, he's definitely known for those close quarter combat, but now it just goes to show that he's pretty much dangerous from all kinds of range. So teams will really have to respect that territory of Team Flash over the south side of the Jonas. Whereas Todak now taking a very late approach, same goes to SEM9. And I think it pays off for SEM9 because it moves back into Pachinki, and it is going to be a big form of rotation coming from all these teams, so we will see the grand migration taking place real soon.
Unfortunate casualties here for the Boom Esports, and there's going to be a lot more to come as Rosemary off the Mini 14 shots him all through. Beautiful shots, able to attack him down as well. The cavalry tries to arrive, but it's a bit too late. And now the players of Team Flash actually, no, won't be the cavalry of Boom Esports. It's definitely going to be Team Flash here looking the closest one out and might be able to steal out the kill. Just going to try to check on by, but yep, it's going to be just stealing out another kill, but a lot more fights to go. But for the side of Team Flash, though, they don't really got to go for the commitment here, and they're throwing some shots in the process, but they can definitely back away, and they're looking like that's exactly the same call.
I just love how cheeky Team Flash actually goes in just to, you know, steal those points away. And if I were the opposite team, I'll be like super mad about that situation. I worked so hard, man. Like I shot that from 400 meters away, and you just come here and took my point off. I'm like, I don't know. Like
it's not my fault. You're too slow.
Yeah. Absolutely. They were way too far out ahead in the field as well. I mean, they should have maybe just swing right by, just like what Team Flash did. Whereas the rest of Bigatron, back then it was Red Aliens, and there was like so many iterations. Now, of course, they've been working alongside with Vitality, and 2 powerhouses of each respective region now combined. I mean, they were the kings of Europe, and you could argue kings of the world as well. I mean, back to EWC, so many different titles. Vitality has been able to win it, and Bigatron by Vitality, this is definitely the biggest collaboration between the two giant orcs. Definitely want to see if BTR can once again raise back up, because currently sitting at 16 feels a little uncomfortable, but they definitely have many more rounds to go. End of it all, I mean, Smash Rule allows some of all these teams to really play catch up. Mace, though, he actually finds the Molotovs to connect over to the members of CD Alliance, and now they go in for the flush.
Pushing through now here is Slumber. Feeling quite alive and kicking so far. But the distance is separated by the wall itself. The nade's gonna get cooked now. The shot towards the left, but another shot to the face. 9-6, able to get one here, winning that slow K. Even Brian, into the mixture of the DBS. Looks to get the pump, and that is gonna be Telecom Digital Alliance now here, eliminated off this round.
The new kids on the block of Malaysia taking the old vanguards of Telecom Digital Alliance. And that itself is just a little bit of taste of what the PMSL could actually bring. My word. That was not even any form of a challenge being formed by CV Alliance. 4 points on the tally, and right now, ManParang Esports move back into their old homes. But Picado is going to be a decent hole, but it seems like that circle, regardless of the situation, is still going to be somewhere around that high ground valley. And Faxcry, he gets a little something, and here comes the rest of Alpha. 2 members being knocked down. He's coming in for the rescue, going up against Todak. Now, neck to neck, he's just behind the wall.
Head to head so far. He's gonna get cooked here by Saddam Dog. There should be a connection.
Oh!
The double. Oh my god. No, not gonna be able to get the triple though. Unfortunately, has to pay for his life. And so unfortunate his teammate's not gonna be around, but East throws on the Molotov. Should be a direct hit as well. But if they're to a knock, yes, it will be. Now it's gonna be Frenzy all alone for Saddam Todak.
It's so crazy. They get the perfect read, and like you said, that Molotov does actually clip, and now E's 1v1 duel, and he gets it. He takes out the entirety of Todak by himself.
Oh, the round persists here with RRQ trying to put themselves into the mix up against APG. RRQ into the clash. Also unfortunate for a set of APG. They went through a lot, but now RRQ, they want to put themselves into the mixer as well. They want a third party out as well. And now it's going to be Ruthless down to the ground. East once again looking to survive and try to play off this game, but RRQ Gypsy shuts them all through. APG simultaneously will get eliminated.
RRQ is so fast on that rotation to really look for all these openings. And on the weakest side of APG, it was just an easy connection, and they just got the short door shut upon their face. SEM9 now, full recovery with the med kit. 4 tries over the hillside. It seems like these two teams have always gone on the brawl, and there's nothing that separates these two from actually going forward in this duel. But 2 members of the side of 4 tries all the way down under over the foothill, and it's gonna be the Yuhai boy closing right in. Should be able to eventually go in for the takedown.
Thrives. You're just holding on to this corner side of this rock side. SEM9 has an overview, but IQ is going to get tagged up, but the players of 4 Thrives. This Mozo has to find the means to get this one done, but Backfront in the process, though, has found one player of the Xavier. It's going to be Lamborghini here getting tagged up as well. Fourth here, 4 Thrives holding on to a pretty strong heady, but it's only going to take at least a nade or 2 to probably push them back away from that scene. So for the zone's gonna be closing in. Alter Ego Iris walks into the blaze of AC Slumber, and Agent Brian finds the first shot here off this wave. Badru able to get the pump to the face here up against 1. And that's gonna be securing off the elimination as well. 1-for-1 trade they go.
A lot of back and forth. Oh, the nade! Brian! He depletes Badru. And now is absolutely possible, but Brian needs to hold by the stairwells. Great dodge coming from the member of Alter Ego, and then now he goes in for that on push. He's going in, he goes for the 1 tap, now down to the 1v1. He knows that there's just one right behind his back, but he won't secure first and foremost, and that was that mistake. He could have actually went on to Alva, but he goes down, but at least that's 7 points for AZ Slumber.
Boss, 40-40, my boss.
The round persists here, and that's gonna be
My boss.
Ryu up against BTR by Vitality. So far, big fights coming into the play. The nade. Oh, watch the nade. Watch the nade. Coming by. Vaccine now tagged up to half. Better Alice. To heal up.
Oh,
Does he have the angle? Does he have the time? Another nade bites the dust. And that heal from the side of Federalis gets cancelled out. All separated by the smoke. Arky Noga Rio now here going to be wrapping around once again from the back. Federalis sprays down and will be able to get
Mana 40-40, mana 40. Tengok live 40 ya.
Stuff coming in from Federalis. Now can he actually go for a save? There's still hurling of nades being tossed out from side of the Pecco as he tries to hold it down the line, and another swing comes right by. Finally back up the rise, coming from the rest of BTR, but Alter Ego wants in. It's the three-way warfare between the civil rivalry of the Indonesians, and now swings him by, and
official
Jen
papa.
Fossey finds it.
Foss, once again, you're trying to sustain all he can up against Alter Ego Eris. Bad News now going to be the only player alive, and that's going to be now Alter Ego Eris finding the means to wipe away the players of the opposition. That will be D Xavier now eliminated, but the round persistence.
Hey, geram tengok baca komen 40 ni
against the players of BTR.
RRQ, they were onto something, and because of that swing by coming from Alter Ego, BTR is allowed that full room for a reset, and now back on their track to try to bring the pain towards the rest of Alter Ego areas.
40 playing Android lah. Sial lah.
A little bit more hesitant to
40
actually
ni
go
dah tak
on
power,
to
tak
take out
power
the
lah.
rest of the members of Alter Ego. Mela now all the way on foot, needing a little bit of a backup, as it's gonna be Gui that goes into save Ripple just in the nick of time. Oh, he was almost fully bleeding out. Alva, Badru will try to generate away safely, away from harm, but BTR is about to give chase as well. Speaking of that, we move on to another Indonesian team. Talent Esports now spots out the backs of Vex Cry of SEM9. A little bit of interesting maneuver, considering that to be a little bit more ambitious. And just like that, Vex Cry, he goes in, snapping it back over the side of Talon, and immediately secures it.
SEM9 so far gonna go on a spree. Once again, pulling things to one down. Now take a look at the map here. Northern side control for the side of SEM9, ManParang Esports, Allen Esports, and Tribetter Massey for the side of the mid map. It's going to be preoccupied by the players of T2K, Boom Esports, Team Flash, and Team Secret themselves. Bit of a slight bit of rotation as well here. Has to be dealt with by the side of BTR. ManParang Esports here on the western side of the map. BKE as well here holding on to the outskirts.
VP, they don't really have much options here for Mela. But SEM9, the reason why they're really tanking out the Blue Zone a whole lot is because they know that once they step outside, Mela is currently holding him over onto that corner. And he's definitely expecting SEM9 towards this direction. He's already heard those footsteps, and now he gets that perfect D-line. Charging up
Ni
against
kalah
it.
tu fight ni.
And he has to find the angles, and right now brings out the SLK. He goes in, a couple of tags, not quite connecting though, and now he's starved out of position, but he does not get out duel. And just like that, the clutch happens. ManParang Esports prevail, and now finds all 4 points.
SEM9 eliminated. Now it's going to be a fight here with Tribetter Massey against Team Secret. Jukai from the top. Tricks here holding things down just a little bit. They got to be cautious though. Gonna be able to squad there on the other side of the spectrum. T2K, Tribetter Massey. Team Secret here about to go for a standoff. There's going to be a battle for timing here. They don't got to worry about rotating at all, as the zone is just about to close out and they're going to be involved into it.
Baik tu, SEM9 banyak fans tu sekarang.
As soon as that first
Power
strike
budak-budak baru.
comes along,
Kenapa dengan 40? Kau
definitely
baca
get
lah
more
komen
bloody
40
here.
dekat live.
It's about to be.
Dia macam ni cerita dia. Cerita dia macam ni aku cerita lah. 40 ni, kan, 40 ni, dia drop spot sama dengan kita orang. 40 ni banyak fans. Dia macam BTR lah, BTR Pakistan.
At the very same time.
Dia banyak
Mind you,
fans.
the rest of
Tapi
BTR
40 tak pernah menang kontes dengan SEM9. 11-0 kot. 11 berbalas kosong. Oh, ada sekali dia menang semalam. Semalam dia menang sekali. Tapi itu bukan line up utama. Itu bukan line up main line up SEM9 lah. Semalam je SEM9 kalah sekali. 11-1 lah, 11-1. 11-1 dia kalah fight. Menang kontes bukan 11 lah, tapi memang semua fight dia kalah. So tu lah.
Face to face eventually. They're bound to. As the space is running out, 30 seconds, the Blue Zone's going to be completing its course. As the space is running out, 30 seconds, the Blue Zone's going to be completing its course. I think GK definitely has done a good job right now. Getting the first contact, GK definitely has done a good job.
Hampir tak lepas SEM9. Hampir tak lepas final, betul? Kesian dia tu.
Good spread here for the side of
Doesn't
Team
seem like his
Secret.
commitment just
Again, you gotta be cautious here. Just so much things to do.
Ada yang
I have to
koyak
worry
tapi
about.
pakai
Pretty congested
kertas.
here on
Ui,
it.
koyak teruk tu. Fan
Center of the
40 memang koyak teruk weh.
BTR has
Dia tak boleh
free
terima.
lane
Dia
for
tak boleh terima
information
yang
as
tim
well.
dia
They
tu
did
tak
have an
power.
overlook over
Dia
here of
duk
this Team Secret
ungkit
entirely.
pasal
Still from
layak
as well, and
EWC. Memanglah layak
maybe shifting here on
EWC.
the mid side, so
Dia
just
punya
not too
liga
much things
cupu.
they gotta worry about.
Liga
Or else they'll
Pakistan tu
back
cupu.
away.
Memanglah layak.
But on the other side of the let's look at the Vikings. They're pretty steady
What
on
is
where
the
they are
price
right
per
now.
Ruthless? Don't know.
Don't really have to worry about anything so far, and it's just all gonna come down to
Oh,
the
ni
rest
bukan
of the
komen
competition
aku.
to pick
Komen
themselves
lain
apart by
punya.
part.
the only thing that they have to be concerned about is to really get a firm
Kalau
spot
korang
inside
tengok
the
liga
zone.
diorang,
Just
bapak
cover
lah.
their
Lawan
driven
liga
by the
apa benda
outskirts
lah.
and by the high ground.
Tak power
And
patut lah
perhaps
layak
they might need
EWC.
to find ManParang Esports for that spot as well. Something that is bound to happen maybe in the next minute or so. With this confirmation, I mean, they're given only so little time for them to quickly shift forward. So the Blues are just going to close in. Pressures on those members of Talon and T2K. T2K hoping to really hold off some of the players all the way up north. They got to deal with both Talon as well as VP at the same time.
Oh, they gotta do. But definitely. So far, no one's really checking out, and no one's really committing to any angle whatsoever. You might just have to draw down to probably the last 2 minutes here inside of this initial circle itself. Well, this town's pretty still. Overview here for Set of Igneous. So much things in the reach of his hands, but I do believe that whoever starts off this clash might just be the most why they can get punished now. And Team Secret gonna go for a rotation. Big heading for the side of XC. Able to tag the player. Team Secret apart, but Franklin from the back. Able to take down Delta from the side of Tribe Massey.
Vexy pressuring them with those grenades. And BTR still having that firm hold over on the high ground. And the rest of Team Secret, they're playing by the creases here. Plenty of defensive cover for both AST as well as Team Secret. But Ruthless is about to close right in, and that is going to be a good connection. And oh, the angles was good for the side of Frankie. Now he's looking for Ferraz. Gets a couple bullets before he gets stopped from above. And just like that, Crazy as well as Ruthless, they're going to put a lot of impact. And there's just plenty of casualties right now. Is AST going to be involved at the same time? Crazy now crashing forward, and now that puts a little bit more of a distraction as he looks to deplete 2K, and that one tap was beautiful. The entirety of BTR, they remained safe. Only one taken down within the skirmish.
Held her ground once again. Just like that. BTR by Vitality now, they now have to go against the players of Team Flasher and rotation scrambling towards the direction. Hyper Massey still not gonna be washed away, not just yet. Still trying to stay alive now, fully composed now. Federal's gonna be out here inside of this round. In the process, once again, we've got to see it. Team Secret gonna be eliminated. Same goes for the side of the Vikings. We're down to the top 7 squads remaining here on this round number 3 here, Contra.
The numbers fell like flies. And right now, with the push coming in from the side of ManParang Esports up the hillside, T2K tries to fend them off at the very same time. They did manage to cover perfect grounds in order to hold down the rest of ManParang Esports. And ManParang Esports, they're desperate for that space. They barely find anything at all. Now they need to lick their wounds. T2K is doing so much, and right now, they're the only 2 teams alongside with Podbit who's holding inside the zone.
Gonna be flying there.
Engagement SEM9 naik man. Semua kat sana sebut SEM9. Dia tu bagus tu. Hantar dia. Tim tak power malah layan. Layak EWC pun nasib. Sebab liga dia tak keras. Berapa minit live delay ni? Sikit je. 10 minit kot. Tak delay panjang. Delay sikit je. 10 ke 5 minit ni. Siap ke? Belum.
Could be Rick as well on the other side. So far, T2K showing really great pals.
But it's only down to Igneous left. I mean, they were trying to deal with too much. And speaking of which, even Team Flash comes in from the other side of the hill to take him down. Team Flash right now on a streak. 7 points to their name. So their name. And this is once again. Coming in from Vietnam. Big Strong by Vitality. Got in the mix of that fight. AST has been able to go in for the shutdown, getting themselves those 5 elimination points in this top 5. anyone's game. A little harder for those individuals coming from Boom as well as Talon.
Masalahnya bergaduh tu fans India tu. Bukannya fan Malaysia pun.
I don't know when exactly he's
Siut
gonna
lah.
pop it though.
For Thrive
Composition
Esport.
of
Tim apa ni?
Squad here, 5 remains
Hey.
in total.
Ayam
Cool.
nasib.
They're prone down to the ground. An overview of Vampire Esports on the other side. Once again, Team Flash and Vampire Esports has the best of all odds. Triber and Master the Dark Horses don't stay alive. They don't have Delta anymore. 3 players here to play with. Odds so bleak here for a set of Boom Esports and Talon Esports. Definitely going to be a bit of a toss-up now. 8 seconds left before the zone has to close out once again. We can definitely see the shift towards the next run. The battle of the mountainside here, Contra.
Oh, Judo was just by the very edge of it. He tosses another nade, trying to flush the position of ManParang away. Red Bull undeterred. He knows that he's around the corner. But that also draws the attention of AS.
Malaysia tak ada gaduh pun aku tengok. Tak tahu pasal 40.
Towards the side of BPE. And now Red Bull's looking for a closure. He's
Next
going
dia sebenarnya tu ke hidup
over
lama
on
kan.
the corner.
Tak
He
tahu,
goes
tak start lagi lah.
a chill. He's
Tak
hooked up
delay
that
lagi,
grenade.
tak
5
delay
seconds.
sangat pun.
It's about to blow, and he's gonna pull
Belum
it
start
away.
lagi.
Not enough time. Red Bull caught
Tu banyak
him
bergaduh
with
India
his hands on
dengan
the ground.
Pakistan itu.
Pushing through now, Talon's
Tahu
gonna be
bergaduh
eliminated.
sebab apa.
Team Flash. The best of all odds now. Look at the 2 squads here just fighting for their lives. Vampire Esports looking to close out the distance now here up against Triber and Massey. The nade connects here by Red Bull. LS6 on the bottom side. Crick's gonna be watching this side as well. Vampire Esports on the aggressive tone. Triber Massey looking to hold things down there. They got 1 player to hold on. That's gonna be Sigante as well. They're looking to provide the backside pushes. Sprays on by now with an M4 here. Finds a few players tagged up. Meow out 6 now crawling on his 2 feet. And that's gonna be Red Bull as well. Gooey's not gonna be alone here for the set of Vampire Esports.
And they were all crumbling down, and Tribe Everybody was so patient, holding it out. It's only down to Gooey left, and the nade's falling in.
It falls in. The battle continues. Team Flash win. Picking up the nade. It's 1 player on his cross here. And gonna go for the fight, not just yet. 1 player apiece for the set of Vampire Esports, and he's gonna be eliminated. Gooey's out. Now it's a 3v3, no 4v3. P1 situation. Team Flash definitely has the best of all odds here, Contra.
Oh my word, didn't expect my prediction to go so well for a moment, but they're still EST. Don't count them out just yet. I couldn't really spot out the final member of Boom Esports. They're still hiding around these corners. As we complete the corner of Team Flash, once these 2 go on the brawl. Strix, Rick, as well as Gante now just by the corner dipped, and these nades are falling right by. Almost getting over onto the corner of Gante. There's a couple of smokes for them to expend, just to try to wiggle off some room. And with those vision denied, this might actually still have wind here to be able to spot them out if they actually proceed any further. And take a look at that final member remaining for the side of Boom Esports. He's crawling right behind, and I think that he's about to pinch Win, as Win, he's getting himself pretty much occupied right now with another nade to be cooked up. And now AST, they're hardly having anything. There we go. The first contact will be in play, and now it's only down to Strix left.
Oh, here we go. Team Flash washes them away. And it's the only player left remaining for the set of Boom Esports. On bit, what can you do up against the full composition of Team Flash? The buggy is out. They know exactly where he is at. They know what's up, and it's going to be a close out now. Big old play for the side of Team Flash, and they're going to be our winners of this round.
Wow. What can we say about the stroke of brilliance that they've shown us over here? Being the kings of the hill by the tail end. Absolutely undeterred throughout their run here in Miramar. And that was one of the cleanest ones, with all of their members still alive to till end of the round.
I gotta say, bro, it's the Battle of Vietnam for today's run, bro. 3 back-to-back runs for the Vietnamese squad. Team Flash able to double this one down, and the only squad missing from the Vietnamese crew is definitely gonna be Team Secret.
And not forgetting DX as well. I mean, these 2 guys, they're falling down out of the radar, but it's all thanks to all the other teams also being so feisty as well. But Team Flash, from that last round, Hughes was the MVP. And this time, Hughes is going to be, once again, securing himself that MVP spot 2 rounds back-to-back with that 7-pointer finish.
Yeah, we talked about him, and he's definitely on top of the board in regards to just getting the eliminations up there. With 7 to his name, that's definitely going to be cranking up the whole statistics run here to going to be the road for that MVP run. What a play so far. I mean, we've seen the winner chicken dinner already go to the side of the Xavier. We've seen it for the Vikings, and now we're seeing it from the side of Team Flash, all coming from Vietnam.
It's just so incredible. Like, this kid so far is actually putting all the right moves, and so far having his twin brothers to also back him up. Both this time, as much as he does not really secure all too much numbers out there, has been able to really be the backbone of the team to keep the engines running high on the side of Team Flash. Overall, I mean, the past couple rounds, Team Flash has been incredible. Even the last round, they didn't make it in the top 4. They still going for those high frag volumes, and they're sticking to the same modus operandi. Same goes to say, for the very least, for ManParang Esports, they were not part of the top 4, falling pretty closely to the top 4. But it was that push towards AST that resulted in them getting demolished.
Yeah, definitely. Well, with that being said, here, Team Flash, ManParang Esports, Driver Massey, and SEM9 has been pretty frustrating here on this match number 3 here. Able to get it done. G to the G's, well played, there you go. And it was a pretty, pretty slow start here on this initial round, but at the end, bro, everything just became much more hectic, and that's what we like to see. We have a comparison here between the Vietnamese squad and the Indonesian squad of Boom Esports. Team Flash gonna have 2 eliminations for their name. Not really comparison overall, with Boom Esports actually only having 0 eliminations inside of the round. So I don't exactly know what's up here, but for sure those are their stat lines.
Oh, it's pretty interesting that, Boom Esports, this is the round where they didn't secure a single drop of elimination points, but hey, placement points is absolutely worthwhile, so it did manage to achieve something in return. Zeus, what more do we talk about this kid, man? Like, he's always up there, really churning out those numbers, and now giving everybody a run for the money where he could possibly turn up to be the FMVP of the entirety of the tournament if he can just continue on with the streak. 987 damage, like we mentioned earlier on with the 7 elimination points. Seeing him just take off is just definitely a sight to behold.
So take a look at the top performers of the round. We got actually 7 once again for the side of the news. We know that for a fact. Back probably with 6 actually alongside Miala, 6 from the side of ManParang Esports, and obviously 1 player from the side of AZ Slumber that is going to be Asian Brian with 4 eliminations to his name, and he definitely started off on the brighter side of the round, but unfortunately sustainability wasn't really all around there for the side of AZ Slumber. ManParang Esports, I mean, ever so consistent, man. I mean, they're always part of the top 5 crews run this one down, and they're still going to be there up on the board. So 14 points are named, 22 on total for the side of Team Flash. We have Driver Massey here with 12, 8 for the side of SEM9, AZ Slumber with 7, 6 for 6 for the side of Boom Esports, and Vegatron by Fatality. 5 for 5 for the side of Alpha Gaming and Alter Ego Eras. That's going to be 4 for the side of Talent Esports, 3 for the side of RQ Rio, 2 for 2 for the side of T2K Esports, MGN, Vikings Esports, Team Secret, and 1 for 1 for the side of Force Horizon Todek, where D Xavier and Telecom Digital Lions pretty stale on this initial start.
Yeah, it's still a little bit more a slow start for some of these guys out there, but hopefully they will be able to pick up the pace.
Aduh, gatal.
So far behind.
Team India asal sekarang tak ada.
Rounds
India pun tak
already
ada
on the
asal.
first day, and
India
you see
pun tak ada lah.
major
Sebab diorang
improvement
kena
coming
ban.
from the likes of Manny.
Nilas tournament
And not only
third
did
party ke?
Zeus
Ah,
actually
Nilas.
get most of the elimination
Ada
points,
2
he
sebenarnya.
also
Petang
the
ada, petang ada, malam
guy
ada.
that
Ha,
frags
so
out.
ada 2
Even
lah
from that
kini.
long
2
distance that we
sebelum
talked about
famous.
in the initial point of contact they had in the early span of the match, 379 points of distance being covered from here. And just look at the stats, I feel like these are stock standard 3 airdrops looted, but I didn't really see anyone whipping out like things like a Grozar, P90. Then again, we're in Miramar, man. Like, usually they just stick with whatever they're comfortable with.
That's going to be the third chicken dinner granted for this one. Xavier started off with on a high note with 21 points for the name, 19 now for the set of Vikings on the second round. Third goes for a set of Team Flash, and what does this call? Once again, I like to say this, it's the battle for Vietnam's run here. 3 out of 4 teams from Vietnam already making it happen for the squad, and just one rogue team of Thailand is actually going to be there. That is going to be ManParang Esports, but Team Flash and ManParang Esports going to be tied up in 42 points in total, 25 and 25 as well for the set of MVKE and D Xavier, alongside Boom Esports and SEM9 actually as well. Wow.
It's so close. I mean, everyone's pretty much tied up, even for that #1 spot. Take a look at ManParang Esports stats. So interesting that all 3 rounds played out, it's pretty much the same score line of 14 points for each respective members. And moving into the other side of the equation, yeah, they're lagging behind. I really wish that they would actually. So close. I mean, everyone's pretty much tied up, even for that #1 spot. It's so close. I mean,
Esports and SEM9 actually as well. Wow.
It's so close. I mean, everyone's pretty much tied up, even for that #1 spot. Take a look at ManParang Esports stats. So interesting. A little bit more, but then.
Yeah, definitely, man. So with that being said,
Nak live titi Tahu kan band ni. Bantai je 40 tu.
Welcome back once again now
Tak
to the
power.
continuation of the first round of the grand finals. It is us here going straight towards round number 4, and we're going back to Air Wrangle. My name is Warden, and we are, my name is Contra. No, my name is Warden, and we have Contra as well. And
Yeah, 40.
let's just get it on, bro. I'm lost for words. I've been losing myself. These games have been pretty close, and I gotta say, man, I've grown such a big heart for the Vietnamese crew already, man. Back to back to back, Vietnam all the way through.
And we just need to love them, man. Like, the way that they are performing is just absolutely otherworldly, right? The way that they've been able to really back those wins and different styles of their own. Of course, different names altogether coming from DX and VKE as well as Team Flash. The only ones right now that hasn't really shown us some convincing moves is Team Secret, but hey, they actually play pretty well inside of Wrangle, so maybe could this be a chicken dinner for each respective teams, or maybe it's a change coming along because
Team
early
Secret.
on it could be anyone out there. So you're going for Team Secret already?
Yep, Team Secret all the way, bro. I want to see the full squad of. I want to see the full squad of Vietnam here bag this one through, bro. I'm still staying towards Team Secret.
Okay, if that's gonna be the case, I'm gonna change things up. I feel like they will eventually pass the torch, right? So I'm going for APG this time, where they've been managing to take up a decent fight. Just in Miramar, it's always been multiple teams that gang up upon them. So maybe with the amount of space that's being provided, APG could actually take one for themselves.
Well, we'll see about it. I mean, APG, I've been a pretty big fan for them actually. You know, when I remember casting my first initial days with APG back in their old organization, For Miracle Vibes, if I'm not mistaken. No, so yeah, I'm happy to see them. Let's see if they're gonna be able to actually get this one on. After all, they got some pretty top dogs in their squad there, and elimination is truly not a problem for them, especially in the map of Wrangle.
Yeah, and overall, you know, like, I guess, like, I voted for Vampire Esports initially, and then I just think that, yeah, it's been 3 games in a row now. I think that these guys are definitely top fragging, so to speak, but then again, they couldn't really land the finishing touch. I just want to add a little bit more points to my tally, just to be a little bit more sure about how things go. But hey, at least Team Flash kind of earned me that 4 points, so yay, finally, in the lead for the first time on the predictions.
Yeah, you got 4 to your name, man. I don't know what you've been eating. I don't know what you've been dosing up into, but what if for sure you've been getting all your arcs pretty spot on. Much more so over. It could have been 5th as well, but Vapor Esports actually coming in 2nd off the vote that you actually had on the 2nd round. But hey, let's get it on. 7 seconds separates us from the 4th round and South on the 1st day of the grand finals. It is going to be going back to the El Clasico map of Erangel.
Here we go, and once again we're being treated with another teaser coming in from the island side. So last time round, when we kickstart our first match here in the grand finals, went all the way down the island, and Vampire Esports seemingly had the tendency to either choose Primos or even the island itself. So now they're spoiled for choice. If they don't really want to take the islands, sure, they could just swerve all the way across towards the far western end. Talent Esports, as per usual, moving into Nova Noya, then they will be joined alongside with APG inside of the Mille base. So, big question now remains is that, you know, some of these guys, they've been having some of all these areas that they've battled for inside of the playoffs. T2K, they're happy that, you know, they get to take that claim inside 70 since that SI8, they're no longer there to disrupt them so far. So, that I want to see a little bit more coming in from inside of T2K as well. That's definitely one big prediction coming in from our dear producers moving into this match.
Definitely, and you know, we're looking at it. It is definitely going to be a pretty safe ball fly fast overall. Now we take a look at the strike and look at the what is that robotic thing going on there, but what if for sure it is going to be that fights coming through here for set of 4 thrives, and the first blood will be ensued by the players of SEM9. IQ on the roll.
Wow, big opener coming in from the side of U-High. And funny enough, I mean, that flight path goes towards the left side and the circle is going on the right. A small chance that it still ends up in Novo, but highly unlikely. It's still a tough call though. Very interesting that this could potentially go up into the lumber hills of Milta or Milta itself. So
Di ambil sini, don't komen.
for the side of SEM9. They're going for a chase and
Masih komen.
enough coming to a close, but couldn't really find the mark just yet.
It's definitely been horrific here for these squads. Tough definition here. Our tribe's gonna be taking a bit slow, and quite unfortunately, you do lose Falak early on. Look at this man here, just holding his trigger down. Oh, Mazel doesn't actually know he's going to be there. But Force Rise only has double barrel shotgun to be played as well, so you can't afford to miss a shot, so he is definitely hesitating.
Yeah, when you don't really have the numbers to actually churn, you just gotta find some
Aduh, ada
pickoffs in order
terpati
to turn
siut.
the fights around. It's really down to this member who's only got a 2-bullet pump on his hands for now. Not even grenades, so to speak. So this could be Farron now, career aggressing, and over on the side, it seems like T24 does get the drop over onto Dia. And he's only got the revolver, he's hiding inside the smoke. And this battle by the corners hospital is the first time that we're getting between Alter Ego and Tribe Armacy.
A bit of a stalemate here on the hospital side.
Beria lah.
For set of four thrives.
Beria lah dia terpati ni, guys.
But a trade will be given as well. But it's out of SEM9. It's a back and forth battle there for four thrives, but SEM9 looking to have the better lap at it. There's only going to be 2 players remaining here for set of four thrives. Not able to get the initial shot. Also, Hour, no connection whatsoever. If only he decides to swing towards the right side, pops one to the floor, not able to get the connection. Might just be able to get another knock now, but T24 OP is missing his shots.
Yeah, he knows that there's now 2 players over in the corner, and they has to play really smart. Where
Beria tu tim kau.
is trying to
Tak.
help him out from the back end. Amazon now being retrieved, but I don't think that they found any first aid kits just yet. From the health bars, and here comes the swing. Going back to the hospital. It's Krypton punish. It's always Gante, but he gets dropped instead. Thank goodness Trinx was there to back him up, and now they're going charging for a whole lot more. Delta with the micro Uzi gets blinded with the smokes right in front of his face, and down the stretch, he's got this double cross being set right over the corner. Badru allowed to actually surf right in. And now Alba, Badru, they got Delta absolutely boxed out.
Big ol' spray! Alava! Pops one down. Fiber Massey Delta down to the ground. Alter Guerreris. Which is true here. It's a pretty heavy fight here inside of the hallway. And Rosemary able to get another pop to the face. And from the back, Alava finds Strix down. Fiber Massey now here only having 1 player to rely on inside of this round. As Alter Ego Eris washes him away.
That was such a decisive strike coming from the side of Alter Ego. I'm just so surprised. Even with the crossfire, they could not really find it all. And it was that collateral for Rosemary. That was a stuff of beauty. Now we go back into third period. They have yet to really scores Rake final member out, so that really secures it. All 4 points for the side of Alter Ego. And now they finally secure a knock. And now the rest of SEM9 moving up the stairwells. T24, he's got the QBZ in hand though. Can he puncture through?
Pushing through here. To get another. Oh, the bow and arrow actually connects with one, but T24 OP. And an AR, able to get a spray. Looking to get another now. Shotgun in the hands. Able to secure Satria down. Looking to get another, but the bomb through the window. Enough to eliminate the rest of the composition of fourth rounds. Pakistan is out.
Oh. Heartbreaking, but that was great effort. And take a look who's here. AZ Slumber is here to rain on the parade of SEM9. A far lob. Not connecting towards SEM9 just yet. And that second one definitely does the trick. Brian. Agent Brian. Now by the corner. Great spot on attack. And this is where it goes down. 1v1 challenge. And he thinks that, oh, maybe it's only one guy around. So he's still going to be on the lookout. But little does he know, Yuhai is still around that vicinity.
Definitely is. Ooh. Agent Brian here going to try to wrap as well, but... From the top there, it's still going to be SEM9. He's down, and SEM9 dealt with 4 times earlier, but now they're going to feel the players of AZ Lumber. Chiakuta. Also get up now for floor control here for set of SEM9. The pump to the face will be enough as well as Vexcry tramples to his feet out on the ground, and that is going to be SEM9 as well eliminated alongside 4 tribes.
I just love the read coming from AZ Slumber. They know very well that SEM9 as well as 4 tribes, they love to go on the duel, and this is where they managed to find that perfect avenue. Meanwhile, BTR caught on rotation, and it's gonna be Olio hoping to secure the number. Crazy already depleted, but the shots are actually coming in from the side of APG to further suppress him. So maybe there's a chance that that point gets stolen away. Vexy now gets the knockdown. He's now being sent out. That's gonna be some smokes to cover fire for the meantime. Leo, fortunate enough to still stay put, but they lost my beginning from the get-go.
Unfortunate there. He's gonna be out. APG here on the other side of the map, though. That's across the vicinity of the players of BTR by Vitality. APG, so talk about the marksmanship. My days. Able to get a knock there. That should be damaging the helmet, I'm sure. Still, though, they are still finding the means to get one for themselves. But Zossi now tagged up, but it's going to be him falling back there behind the monster truck. RQ, you're going to go for the drive-by, and it's going to be the player of Todak, Leon, down to the ground and away from the round itself.
Beautiful, beautiful fights that we're getting so far in the span of the early rounds. But now you see so many cluster teams over onto the central area, and now is a shift back into Nova Renoi. Are you kidding me? Oh, this is the worst scenario for the rest of the team, but Talent Esports is gonna be laughing their way to the bank.
Oh yeah, definitely. Most likely, yeah. Nova Renoi in control.
It's so ridiculous.
Look at watch the bridgehead later on, gonna get congested by so many squads. On the feed now, the Xavier finds ManParang Esports away through. ManParang Esports finds AZ Slumber. It's a back and forth. Look at the players of APG are scrambling across over the clock. Close down the bridge already, but now the Xavier here has to fight between ManParang Esports with Miliao Lao 6 here down to the ground.
Back and forth we go. The Saber so far checking them one by one. We all the way towards the far back though. There's not much that he can really do about the scenario right now. He does not have any form of vehicles. His teammates are already out. He's absolutely stranded, and the worst news is that that zone is going into the island as well. They've only got about less than 2 minutes for them to really settle scores. Talent Esports, they decided not to camp on the bridge for far too long, but they are sending a chill to do all the damage. Talent right now, right underneath. Same goes to APG on the further end. They're lobbing nades back and forth at each other. And here comes Boo. Making his debut here over onto the grand finals. As those nades are going too far wide, not really clipping onto any of these members just yet. And Zyle hoping to make matters worse for Talent Esports.
Can't afford to let this one slip by. You had the control, but now APG persisting to get this one through. It's going to be down to the ground. Doc Refus, y'all, what can you do? Talent Esports still going to be fully composed. Players, but APG Refus finds the nade to connect up against Yoru. But the time is draining. It's definitely in the essence. Two players knocked here for the set of Talent Esports. You took the fight. You have the control for yourself. Now you got to deal with this. Go with a 2v3 now. Who here has to go for the pickup? Looking to drop the smoke as well here to provide a coverage. It might just be a reset, but does it have enough time? Looking like APG gets the call. Axel needs to move in quick. Oh, wants to cross. Zio Repots on the other side. Gonna go for the spray. Can he get the cancel out? Yo, on the other side, Maul's gonna get blown as well, and now it's gonna be Doc from the back, able to get this one done, and that's gonna be Talent Esports collapsing from the sky.
Talent, they were holding it inside of Novo, and they just extended all the way out, giving away their advantages, and just like that, APG with that timely push has been able to overthrow the whole overall bridge. They still have Axel. But what can Axel do at this current point in time? They've been weakened so much already. And the rest of the field, take a look at them. Everyone's scrambling for that space. Boom Esports, they got a big plan. They took those boats, and they're about to book Nova for themselves.
Yeah, it's going to be a wrap now here. Nova's definitely going to be the initial circle itself. Definitely the circle's just become so erratic. I don't exactly know what's up, but on the feed, RQ finds Docky down himself. Axel Hill looking to go for the commitment here. Gonna be all alone. The last glimmer of hope here for Talent Esports. Looks to go for the pound. Oh, doesn't really get to him as well. APG bring around a rosary from the sky. He goes down, and that's gonna be Talent Esports now here eliminated.
It's so crazy. The work rate for APG is just immense. And right now, charging right into the compound, it's going to be between RRQ versus Team Secret. Izzy does it, gets a blow over onto the side of Juke, and now here comes Frankie. And another tab is all it took for the side of the Pecco to break all 5 points. The Pecco, he's the only scorer in RRQ, and he's just stealing in the show.
Wow, oh, wow. Woo. Definitely looking pretty hot here. A lot of mishaps happened for all these squads. The top dogs in the competition so far has been trampling down. After esports here down, but the last player here on top of the board, Team Flash still going to be having the full squad for himself. The Alter Ego Air is now going to be going for the rotation as well. It was going to be trailing them from the back, but he's not going to be coming in drawing in here pretty close. They're not picked up here with a dock, but what can you do when you...
And not much, apparently.
Yeah.
Sorry, didn't mean to cut you off right there.
It's fine, bro.
It's just, the circle's just so trashy, right? I mean,
yeah,
there's really no room for these teams to really play on any safe location. And Razy finally getting something in return. Alter Ego still in the blue. None of these guys really want to commit, but they have to take this duel. Rosemary crosses over, and he tumbles instead.
He's tumbling now. Oh my days, the Xavier just deals with the Vikings. Alter Ego Air simultaneously. They're mad and hungry and they want to take this round for themselves. Team Flash here, 20 some shots up against RQ. Top 2 on the top side. RQ there from the front. They don't have any options. They just gotta go for the commitment and the nades as well. Pull it up now. Can they get the connection? Not exactly the case. It's a barrage. It's full of control here so far for the Team Flash, but RQ, they try to disengage from the fight, rotating towards the left side of the map.
Look at how many teams are currently disgruntled about the situation, playing by the outskirts, still playing inside of the blue zone. The Pecco looking for more, but he got tag on his foot. Oh, big shot coming from the side of Tops, and that changes everything. Here comes the par. He tries to do something in return, but immediately upon arrival, he gets pinned down at the very same time. Team Flash, their waking magic happens over onto the corner of the map.
But there's something awakened now. See, instead of RQ here, just instead of the zone bandaging up. Doesn't really have a lot of room to work with. Flash, we got another wave of nades, doesn't get the connection. Oh, the zone's starting to hurt real bad. They want to call this one quits. That single elimination is just not going to be worth it. But look at the player outside come to the alliance. Might just play for the cut off as well. Bows knows exactly what's up. All back away. They do instead of the face zone for the time being. Not really too safe though. There's going to be a pinch offered, but instead of RQ and shall come to the alliance simultaneously soon enough.
Team Flash, I'm just surprised that they've been able to really hunker down over onto this section, and now that area for the bridge is being cleared up. They're still hesitating because they don't know exactly where APG relocated, and there's still that one member of CD Alliance, Oleo, who's currently on the other side of the bridge. Tops, he's going to also regroup, but I wonder if there's going to be any form of retaliation coming in from that individual of CD Alliance. Top's going to be able to go in for the pin down. So it's only down to Munama99. Who exactly is this? Is this Jimmy OP again, who's called Kasim, who's loved to change his name every now and then? I am honestly having zero clue, but I get tilted when teams actually change their names to something odd.
Because you somewhat just don't know what to say, you know? Like,
yeah,
you can't really bring in the narrative if you're not really too certain. You talk about it, and the next thing you know, it's just not him. But hey, Mouse though. Take some shots here. Solcom Digital Alliance. I mean, haven't really had the best of group here coming from the last 3 rounds, and so far, yep, he's gonna get overwhelmed here. But now here sprays on by, and that's gonna be him out away, sent out from the round.
Okay, with his portrait right there, I can confirm it's actually Jimmy. So,
Jimmy boy.
It doesn't matter too much now that he falters, doesn't it? So, only 1 point for CD Alliance at the very least. But Team Flash, though, man, look at these boys. 5 points already. Looking for that #1 spot, holding it firm. Whereas Todak, could they hold on the line? They have 3 members here. And the B line of members of Team Flash is charging right through. A lot of open space, though. But the rest of Todak, they're also playing by the shoreline.
Yep.
BTR, I remember they were playing over on the far end of the shores as well. I'm not sure if they've been able to make the cut into Novo already. But hey,
Try stream
these
TikTok
teams
ah.
happy to oblige for the meantime.
Jadi ah.
And look who's here. Genthos finally makes his way across the bridge. Not quite there yet, though.
Yep. Definitely not there. Not at all. Bit of a toss up here. The battle of Bridgeside. Look at the outskirts here, just being occupied by the squads. Kodak, Team Flash, Ark. Just he's afoot there.
Test.
First player 3 of Ark has found 5 eliminations.
Aku lah dekat ni.
He has to try to probably
KFB.
be alive here to try to back